Hey, well, I read your feedback on the Warhammer Fantasy Kickstarter update 2, and a lot of it kind of made me laugh. I think some of you didn't get something, but maybe I wasn't clear. So a lot of you, at one point during the video, I suggested or asked, what would you guys like to see in the meantime, because we were unable to record bat reps at the moment, and the vast majority of suggestions were, well, how about film different bat reps instead? So I wasn't either very clear or we weren't paying attention, but maybe both. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go over a bunch of the suggestions. I haven't read them. Well, I read them all first day, but more have been trickling in the last couple of days. So I'm just gonna go over them kind of like a sit and talk format and just give you my direct feedback to all your suggestions and a couple of ideas that you guys suggested actually might run with. If I can't pronounce your name, I'm just gonna gloss over your name. I'm gonna read over a bunch of different comments. Maybe I'll just read them all. So the first one, I got these in order of, I guess, newest to oldest. We'll love to see a series of videos with Steve, Cullen, and Luca doing reviews of each Fantasy Army book for 8th edition, plus Skaven, Bretts, and Beastmen, because those books are not 8th edition books, but they're played in 8th edition. You guys could do video chat from your homes. Now, that's interesting, because a number of people suggested, there's even a reply in this comment, saying he wants the same thing. So I don't know if we can coordinate properly to do a Skype or video call type book review. Honestly, I just don't think it will do very well. We've over the years recorded, well, Luke and I recorded so many together in the same room that we kind of have a system down pat. But I don't think doing it through Skype is going to be a feasible idea. That being said, excuse me. I'm gonna do at least one. I'll probably start off with a high elf book and see if, because I know, okay, so if you here's the cold hard truth. When you ask people what they want, just because they say they want something doesn't mean they actually do, but sometimes they do, right? So I will record one, and if people actually respond to it, because it never even occurred to us to do book reviews of like out of print books for editions long past. Well, I'll do one because we still play the game regularly, and if you guys actually like it, if you guys want to watch it, I'll record more. I'm sure the other guys will do theirs as well, and if they don't want to do theirs, I'll do theirs for them. If you actually want these, so yeah, I expect to see a high elf Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th Edition Army book review coming up 7-8 years after the book came out, maybe 9 years. Mr. Fancy Pants, a good Mordheim campaign where you get to follow a weird warband and its evolution like goblins or something. Cannot film in studio. Cannot film anything in studio. So the only thing I can do at the moment is film from my home office, which I am, and I can talk to the camera. I have a little more leeway than that, but not a whole lot. I can't do a Mordheim campaign. And you know what? To be very honest, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I don't think we'll ever do another Mordheim campaign. There are a handful of people who super enjoy it, but for the most part, the Mordheim campaigns don't do anything, like at all. We can't say for sure why. I'm gonna suspect it's probably because people, like we've seen that a lot with a lot of like small scale skirmish games, or what would you call those games? Games Workshop's had them for years. They're smaller scale games. There's a name for it. Not supplements. Sorry, it's escaped me the name I'm looking for. But they had like a bunch of peripheral games around their main games that they sell very well. Like Shadespire sells very well, but the videos don't do well. Mordheim videos never done well. We never quite figured out why. The suspicion is people actually play those regularly, and people don't get to play as much of the big games as they like. So they're willing to pay to watch other people play them. It's a reasonable hypothesis. We're not 100% sure. But yeah, Mordheim campaign probably never going to happen again. People just don't really watch it. Stapleton, you paint so much. How about a what I painted this week short vid? I don't know. So I know a lot of other channels do stuff like that. I don't know if it's really for me. I do paint daily. I might miss a day here or there, but I actually do paint it daily, and it's such a I don't know how to describe it. It's such a therapeutic thing for me. Like I just really enjoy it. That I just don't know if I want to. I don't. Well, there's a lot about painting videos or even painting updates that I don't know, for some reason I don't know if they're me. Like I even have an Instagram where I intended on putting all photos every day of what I've been working on, and I just petered off. I have actually a ton of Primaris Dark Angels that have never been in a video. I've painted them up a while ago, and they haven't been in a video or a bat rep yet. Just because the way the schedule works, where I work on the day job, everybody knows I work from New I haven't been able to record personally any 40K games in other than campaign, in weeks. It might have been a couple of months, maybe not that long. But yeah, so I have a bunch of new stuff that hasn't even seen a video yet, and I could just take pictures and show them off on Instagram. Like right now, just on my turret's getting. So I'm working on a couple repulsors. I have a bunch of more Blade Guard veterans. This is all the stuff that's there's a couch on the other side of my desk, but on the couch there's boxes of stuff that are assembled. Then they get moved to the left side, where they get airbrushed, and once they're airbrushed, I put them on this desk and work on them, and I throw them in. Nah, it doesn't matter. There's a big train assembly line type thing in my house, and I move them to my dining room table, and they'll sit in a cardboard box, all sealed and painted, and I'll bring them into the studio and I'll put them immediately in their trays where they belong, and hopefully they have bat reps. Yeah, it's it might be an addiction, the painting, and I justify it because it's my day job, or it's not my day job, but I use the models for my day job. So yeah, I do paint a lot. I'm not really sure how to make videos, or even if I ever really should. It's something I've never. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people. But I guess there's some more expanding questions. I'll expand upon that when they pop up. The next guy's just like hopes for Warhammer the Old. Oh, asking me my hopes for the Warhammer Old World. Okay, there's tons of rumors. I try to stay away from them because sometimes they're just way out there and not true. My hopes are I'm gonna keep it incredibly simple because I want this game so bad, but I honestly don't care if it's a small scale skirmish game, if it's a massive regimental game, whatever they do. I'm on board. I'm keeping no expectations, and I just want to, when it comes out, I want to experience it like a fresh new game in a world I used to love, still love. So yeah, what are my hopes? I don't want to give hopes because I don't want to get expectations because I don't want to think it's a game or hope it's a game that how do I put this? I'm not going to hope it's like the old world that it was, like a square-based regimental game, because it might not be anything like that, and I'll be totally okay with that. I'll be happy to see whatever game they come up with, and the stuff they've showed off so far. I mean, the Bretonnian preview, like not models, but they showed the Bretonnian areas on the map, and then the concept arts for the Kislev Bearmen, like the Bear Riders. I think every time they show off a concept art, I've told the guys, like, I dibs that army, that one's mine. I can't have them all. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it. Man, I don't want to get too excited for the game, but I cannot wait for it. And whatever it is, I'll be down for. What armies would you like to play next? I have a massive Slaanesh army. I've been trying to get around to painting for quite a while, but for one reason or another, it keeps getting bumped off my painting project list. A bunch of things keep jumping ahead of it. Now my idea for my Slaanesh army was it was going to be my travel army. If I go to Adepticon or events or whatever, I can bring one box with one army and play multiple game systems. I'll be able to play Warhammer Fantasy because the 25 mil rounds are perfect for 20 mil rounds, 25 mil rounds, whatever. Yeah, 25 mil round are perfect for 25 mil squares. For the trays, it works perfectly for fantasy. I was going to convert some of the big guys to the bases to slot back and forth around and square. It's a 40K army. It's an Age of Sigmar army. It was the everything army. And if I really wanted to, I could play Horus Heresy with it too. Though you're kind of strong for Horus Heresy. Nobody really wants to play. Nobody really wants to play against demons in Horus Heresy. That's not true. Some of you do. So yeah, that's an army I do want to play. I actually might have to. I might have to contract that army out. But there's few people that try, and everybody's busy. But it's on the couch. It'll stay there until I get to it. It might take. It's been on the couch for well over a year, and it might take a lot longer. But I am working on a few. I'm working on Craftworld Eldar right now too, which will definitely be. You'll see Craftworld Eldar Barracks from me before you see Slash 40k Barracks from me, probably. Well, no, certainly. What units like to add to current armies? Yeah, there's a bunch of that. I wanted to add a bunch of more. Why do you keep saying bunch of more? I wanted to add a bunch more Mega Knobs to my orcs. Though I kind of put all my orc stuff on hold because the beast snag is like I'm waiting for that. I gotta see what that is. I don't want to work on orcs right now until that stuff comes out. And I want to add a lot of Blade Guard veterans to my Deathwings. I just want to do a pure Primaris Deathwing army. Now I know that's not the best way to play Deathwing, but it's not intended to be the best way to play Deathwing. Though it'll still be a very, very powerful way of playing Deathwing. So yeah, I wanted that. That's why I bought the Repulsor and the Repulsor Executioner. I got a Redemptor Dreadnought, all painted up bone. Well, half painted, airbrushed bone. He's going to do all the details next. I got a few more Dark Angels Primaris characters. I'm basically expanding my Primaris collection. Actually, there is exactly 2,000 point Primaris Dark Angels Gravis army built over there. The only thing that's not assembled and airbrushed is the Heavy Intercessors because they're not out yet, and once those come out, I'll probably get that army done, or hopefully done soon. Because there's a few units in there that are just good for Dark Angels as a whole. Like I have a 6-man squad of Plasma Inceptors. I really want to get this on the table as soon as possible. But they are very powerful, and you can't just throw them in any bat rep. They're kind of cheesy. They're gotten a little too good. Deep dive discussions on lore armies. I'd love to see Colin explain the intricacies of both Empire and Skaven politics. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Luca talking about the Tomb King dynasties. Yeah, he could do that. Yourself on the Green Things, Josh on the Ogres. Well, unfortunately, you're mentioning a bunch of people who actually don't. This is my private YouTube channel, and I wouldn't feel right going to them to ask them to produce content for my YouTube channel. However, if that's stuff you want to actually see, there's no reason why you couldn't email them directly. Use their name at miniwargaming.com. Except for Cullen. You spelled Cullen's name right. Everybody else does it wrong. It's C-U-L-L-E, and it's Cullen, like the Twilight movie. Or the kindergarten cop guy. Cullen at miniwargaming.com. Josh, Luca, L-U-K-A at miniwargaming.com. And if they can fit in their schedules, maybe they'll record that for you and put it up on Mini Wargaming. Like I couldn't go up to them and be like, "Hey guys, the guys on my YouTube channel comments are asking you to create a video." Like it's, I would feel like it's wrong. I want to ask them to do work for me, unless I pay them. And this channel doesn't pay anything, like nothing. I don't. Everything I do in this channel is, well, I don't do anything in this channel, so. Painting tutorials, bat reps, but honestly, so Ta says painting tutorials, bat reps, but honestly, I'm good with anything you're cool doing and just want to see more videos. Yeah, painting tutorials, I'm not the guy. I don't know how to put this. I don't know if I should do painting tutorials. So when we did the first lockdown a lifetime ago, over a year ago now, Matt just decided I was going to make some painting tutorials or painting type videos, and I did. I made a handful. It was the most stressful time of my life. I don't have the necessary skill to create that kind of video. I mucked through a couple of them. Cullen then fixed them up a little bit and re-edited them a little bit to kind of like I can't. How do I put this? I move. If you watch my bat reps, my feet move constantly. I try really hard not to move around so the camera's not shaking so much, but I move around a lot, and I paint everywhere. But when you make a painting video, the camera aims in a spot. You got to keep your model right there the entire time. I can't do that. If you remember, if anybody watched the painting thing video Vito and I did, Way the Bro. No, not Way the Bro. We did this weird, stupid show for a couple episodes that didn't work, but kind of did. But we had to paint on camera. It was like a little competition, and he's just a way better painter than me. But he was gonna win every episode, and we knew both going in. Like, whatever, this is just for fun. But I couldn't keep my model on camera. We're calling him, was constantly like throwing stuff at me, nudging me. Steve, just putting myself back in camera. I don't have the knack for it. I know, like anything in life, you can try, practice until you can, and you'll be able to do it. But I think I'm just keep coming up with excuses as to not become a paint. I'm not gonna be. I will never become a painting channel. It's not gonna be me. I paint to get things. I paint to complete armies. So I love to complete armies to get them on the table and play. Because I don't play with things that are unpainted. Though I love painting, but it's also for me, and I don't know if I want to make that a YouTube thing. But I love everything. I don't know. Did I finish everything? Okay, Grimbold. I would love to see you and the boys talk about your armies. Why you decided to collect that particular faction? Why you decided on a certain color scheme? Cullen's Empire. I can actually answer a few of those. What armies did you always want to collect but never had a chance to? Ooh. What are you hoping for the Warhammer or the Old World? Okay, so I answered the last one. Yeah, we could do a show about talking about our armies. That would be an interesting thing. But I suspect that we'd have more fun than you guys watching us. We do talk about something. We do talk. Okay, for a bunch of guys who live Warhammer Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, we still talk about it most days, most of the time. It's I can tell you why why Cullen's color scheme is his Empire color scheme is what it is. Years ago, I bought an Empire. I bought a bunch of plastic Empire miniatures for Warhammer Fantasy Battles Empire. I bought the Empire's Regimental Standards hardback book. It's like a painting. It's a scheme for every province in the Empire, and I settled on one that I kind of dug. I just like the way it looked, yellow and green. I painted up one model, I think, maybe one of the two models. I painted up the captain and the battle standard bearer, and then for whatever reason, we had a bunch of projects on the go. I was never going to get to the Empire army, so I'm like, Cullen, you have one Empire, you have one fantasy army. Here you want if you paint this Empire army, so we can use it for bat reps, you can keep it. So I gave him two models painted and a bunch of unpainted stuff, and he painted them all up like that. So if you ever see, I don't think he ever uses the Empire captain with pistol, but his Empire BSB with the Griffin standard, I painted that model. The rest of the army he painted, all of it. Like I painted two models in the entire army, and then he went and bought a crap ton more and expanded it hugely. Like he really dug the Empire. But Cullen didn't pick his scheme. I did, weirdly enough. What armies do I want to collect and never had a chance to? I would. Oh man. Okay, if the old, I'm working on some Bretonnian stuff cursory to add toward the Studio Warhammer Bretonnian army for fantasy to add more things. But I would love to do my own Bretonnian army. I feel like I'm not the world's best painter, but I finally comfortable enough with my skill to be able to paint a proper multi-heraldry Bretonnian army. But because the old world's coming, I've decided no matter what, I'm not going to work on any more fantasy armies. I think what I have is it. I'm going to play fantasy with what we got. Though, well, there might be more purchases. Like, already painted armies, but I decided to paint no more, or else I would be working on a Bretonnian army right now. I would trump everything else working on that Bretonnian army. So yeah, I never really got around to doing that proper. Talk about the legendary lords of each faction and tabletop would be quite interesting. I think Luke is your guy for that. He knows the most. Actually, no, Paul knows a lot about the fantasy lore. What is your favorite edition? Have you taken a look at any fan-made edition Army Tiers lore? So I generally don't like to talk about future plans because they change constantly. But one conversation that the three of Luca, Cullen, and I have had, actually we brought Josh in this conversation as well. When we were actually able to finish this Kickstarter, we were going to jump to another edition of Warhammer Fantasy for we don't know how long. We everybody's got a different idea. Some want to do the Warhammer Fantasy for Warhammer Armies project. It's a fan made one. I think Luca wants to drag us to 6th, which I don't think is necessarily bad. We haven't decided, but we're going to jump to a new edition, and the fan made ones have been discussed. We talk about army lists, tiers, and lore. Yeah, there's all the things we could talk about, but again, that would require me to ask them to do work for my YouTube channel, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't pay them. And Gary Payman, things like to see over the next 5 weeks. Can you put Oh, until you put backups in. Just random videos of you calling Luca playing video games. Yeah, okay. Man, I do play very few video games. Luca gets some in. I wish I played more. I spend more time shopping for video games than actually playing them. Because every time I have a free moment to sit down, well, I have a lot of free time. But every time I go to sit down to do anything, I paint. Even though like Saturday, sorry, I thought I heard some. Even though like Saturday, like I'm gonna play video games all day Saturday. I just want to relax and play whatever. Um, I end up just I'll just paint this guy up real quick, and then 7 hours have passed, and I've played the three guys, and I'm starting on. Like I keep painting. I just keep painting. Yeah, I wish I played more video. I like Philip Healy says I would like a video on the ninth age and how it stacks up against the 8th edition. I'm never gonna play the ninth age. Tumor said, I would like to see overpowered slash unfair lists from Fantasy and why they are overpowered slash unfair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't think I want to ever do that. I know everybody is capable. Cullen is lacking a few models to do a couple of lists. Um, even though he has like the biggest collection. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually a good idea. I think the one of the so fantasy has always been a super competitive game community wise, and we've always taken fantasy very gentlemanly. Like there's a bunch of things that we just don't do, and we never really we never have to we never talked about. Okay, guys, I'm never gonna bring a Lariel and like the White Lion Death Star Lariel type thing. Josh has never decided, like, never been told to not bring the Maw Banner and the Hellheart. We all just kind of took the game gentlemanly. Um, and we'll take it up every now and then. We don't we're all very aware what tournament lists were back when the game was very competitive. We know how to make them, um, and we just never have. And I think that has been one of the reasons why people have continued to watch the fantasy matches as long as they have. Because we allow everything to come on the table and play and just have fun. Like there's a Hylos do particularly well. Like you can make units just unchargeable just by the way you position certain things. Great Eagles do it so well. It's a tactic that it's just not meant. It's not in the spirit of the game. It's in the spirit of the rules for sure. But like yeah, it's just not the way we play fantasy. And I don't think it will be good for us, the community, and my channel to start playing that way. It's hard to turn it off. Um, Mitch of Land. This actually video is going a lot longer than I expected. Okay. Uh, Discussion of what armies you want to see improve. What improvements you want to see for any games? Oh yeah, we can nitpick games all day long. That's what gamers do, right? We complain and nitpick or ask for like grass always greener, right? I hope you guys are okay. I thought things were really bad where I live, Alberta, but goodness. My love and best wishes to you all. Thank you. Alberto says, well, guys, we are waiting for your Warhammer Fantasy battle reports. Cheers from Italy. Hey, Italy. Fogle 88. Ramble and paint in videos in a live stream format. One model in 2 hours. I can do that, but live streaming without an audience isn't fun. I need someone to talk to. I think I know this channel. It's not a channel. D6. Oh, 66 Gaming. It looks so familiar. Sorry, it looks familiar. What about a Sid Talk show where you, Luca, call it the Mountain of Dice? Luca and I do a lot of Sid Talks already. At manywargaming.com. Kendall. Spotlight videos of your armies would be great. See Grimbold 17's comment for particulars. See, I don't know. We can't do that. The models are all at the studio, which is about 30 minutes away from where I live. And there's a very narrow. I can say it could. There's a very narrow window of the workday ends 5:30 to where we have to be out of the building because the cleaning crew comes in. I guess it could be. I guess it could be done, but it'd be tight. And no, it can't be done. You have to take everything off the shelf, make it all nice and pretty. And you have to have it all cleaned off before you leave because you don't want to have to come into work the next day and have somebody clean your models off a nice table that you built up for display purposes. Maybe maybe when things open up again, it's something I can think about doing. I love my painting videos. Talk about the weather. Well, today is a beautiful day. The day I'm recording this is the April 8th, and it is gorgeous outside. I think some tips and tricks for collecting fantasy armies and how they're mostly not supported now. Yeah, there are a few armies you can still collect. Like Wood Elves you can probably do. Ogres you could do. You can do the Goblin side of Orcs and Goblins. Lumineth Realm Lords can convert well into High Elves. You can get them on the bases. No, you can't get them on the proper. You can still do Chaos, so Warriors of Chaos. You can still do all the Demon factions. There are a few armies out there you can still do completely. You can still do the Beast of Chaos. Or Beastmen, as they were. Would love to see some Warhammer Fantasy Army showcases. Yet, can't do that. Steve Workbench, yeah, showing off what I've worked on. What? Would love to see you guys finish Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 on this channel. So, we're not going to finish Baldur's Gate ever. That was a huge, huge bummer. So, we, Luca, Colin, Quirk, myself, and a buddy of mine, we played Baldur's Gate together. We got to almost to the very end, like literally the last dungeon, and we're done. We're going to kill Sarevok. The save corrupted, and we couldn't leave a building, or we couldn't leave an enclosure. Yeah, we couldn't actually finish the game, which took the steam out of playing Baldur's Gate 2. And then we always said, well, Cole and I always said we were to go back and play Baldur's Gate 3. Actually, Luca was in too. Actually, Matthew was in that one. When Baldur's Gate 3 comes out. So I bought Baldur's Gate 3 already. A friend of mine and I have been playing it. It's only in pre-release, what's it called? Early access. Matthew doesn't want to play it until it gets fully released, but him and his wife are down to play it. But like there is still bugs. There was a lot of bugs, but we might play a little of that and stream it. Like, I already do play it weekly. Like I play it every Sunday, but just for fun. And like with the last patch, I had to start over again. Like there's only so much you can do. We might stream the first chapter. Depends. Actually, depends on Cullen. Cullen is unfortunately incredibly busy. I can squeeze it in, but now we gotta sort out if Cullen can. That's the only thing holding that back. We'll love to see some army overviews of 8th edition. Yeah, it's like kind of like book reviews. Talk about favorite units, Mighty Empire, siege work. I know you guys have dipped your toes in lore videos before, and I'd love to see more than that. See, that's not really me. I'm not very eloquent. I'm not a great talker. I don't know if you ever want to watch a lore video created by me. If I was just sitting with a drink or two and just talking about stuff, I know that that's far more interesting than me editing and creating a lore video. I have a dumb voice and a terrible way of talking. Easy for the 5 weeks. Now, Luca is really good at that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to ask him. That's all. Okay, so the lore video guys, they put in so much work. There's so much work in that. Could never ask Luca to do that. Chris Thacker wants map campaigns. Have backers send an army list to use. Let's see new units, scenario games. I can't do any of that. This is the stuff I'm gonna do, and then more time. He wants more time. No, sorry, can't do it. I would love to, but I want to play. I want to play. Like, no, if my work schedule doesn't allow me to play Warhammer 40,000, I would squeeze my own game in the tournament room or something with somebody. We can't even do that. I haven't played forever, and I want to play stuff. I haven't played Fantasy in forever. Like actually, yesterday, Josh and Luca were playing, and I was working on some other stuff, and I kept walking by the studio, and I kept going in there. Like I want to play Fantasy, but staying on schedule. How about some narrative stuff like Grudge of Drong, Circle of Blood, and the Idol of Gork? The old Dogs of War stuff. Long Drong, the Slayer Pirate. The good old days. This is adulation for me. I'm not going to read that, though I do appreciate it. What about your series? Your thoughts on each faction AOS? Things you could slash change for each area. Maybe start my allegiance. I don't. It's not an AOS channel. It probably won't be. I have a few games, but I don't know. There's actually I don't know enough about the AOS lore. To be very honest with you. I used to say it's too new. There isn't much of it, but now there is, and it's really expanding. And I hear a lot of good things about it, but no, I haven't read any. Do a discussion on things you like adding. I'm sorry, never look at the camera. I'm always looking at the screen. Do a discussion of things you like adding or changing in different armies for the old world in general. Things you want changing. Nothing. I would not give my opinion on any of that because I trust whatever they're gonna do is gonna be fine. And if it's not, I'll tear them apart. But it's gonna be awesome. I think no matter what it is, I'm gonna love it, which is I don't know. I guess great. There was once a promise of Baldur's Gate 2 stream. Other than that, assuming you can't get to the streaming, it's a decent idea in general. It could be Warhammer games or something else. Yeah, I need. I would. I'll look into it, but this all has to be done after hours, obviously, and Colin works a lot. He has his own business as well as he works full time for me. So yeah, getting him on Baldur's Gate, it's difficult, but I'll see what we can do. But no promises. A nice focus on your orc army, painting colors. Yeah. We'd love to see something on the fan-made 9th edition of Warhammer Armies project. I'm not big on the 9th Age, but the Warhammer Armies project I really dig. You've already mentioned that you would never want to do that. Otherwise, the new Mordheim campaign does sound like it'd be cool. I love Mordheim. I just wish a wider audience did. No, I like the Warhammer Armies project. I'm not a fan of 9th Age. You know what? Okay, just so people just stop at the 9th Age and explain why. Maybe the game is in a good state now, but they were so all over the place in the beginning, and the game kept getting pulled forward. Like it was unfollowable. You would try to record a bat rip, and by the time you uploaded, they've changed the rules. It was way too many chefs in that kitchen. If it's fine now, it's kind of too late. You've lost me. Like, only because I know of the Warhammer Armies project, which looks really solid, really solid. I'd love to do some play with fan sessions, run through some Vermintide or some other Warhammer slash non-Warhammer games. I really think you'd be a great person to sit and game with for a few hours. Man, I'm really a bad gamer. I'm not great. I do fine solo, but you're not going to see any world-class tactics from this guy. Maybe I do want to get. I've never gotten around to playing Deathwing, and I still want to play that game. I could use a team. Tyrannosaurus, I would love to hear about how you got into fantasy in the first place. You know what? Guy in my neighborhood, his father played. That's simply it. What armies like the wide tournaments you went to, memorable moments, lone bowman killing Dragon Lord. There's way too much. The kind of thing got you into this with the kind. You kind of got into this with your video with Matthew. You talked about AOS and fantasy. We'd love to hear more. Yeah, I could potentially do a whole video about my personal history of Warhammer Fantasy. Oh man, there's more. Would like to see your armies all laid out. Yeah. Again, can't do it at the moment because everything at the studio. So I need access to the studio after hours. And advanced tactic videos. Any chance of setting up a small tournament? Yeah, there was actually plans of doing a Warhammer Fantasy tournament at Mini Wargaming in their tournament hall, but because the world went to hell, sort of. Yeah, we can't do that at the moment. Any chance? You and Ash have used some pretty epic. Wait, you and Ash used to have some pretty epic matchups. Would be cool to see him on the channel. That man is also very busy. And then again, I couldn't do that at the moment. See, here's the thing. There's no way to do that because of lockdown. And then when we're not in lockdown anymore, he's not going to have time. I can talk to him, and I'm not going to have time. You know what? You know, actually, he lives one city over, and the last time I saw him was at Deptic. Draxler. I want to see Steve single-handedly bankroll the mini Wargaming Vault because we all love and miss Warhammer Fantasy proper and never want to see it die again. Man, I couldn't afford. There's a lot of like, well, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 full-time employees. That's I can't. It's expensive. Baldur's Gate 3 would be cool since you did the early version of the game as a series. Yeah, I agree. You could fill the time by being a guest on my podcast. Worth a try. Something with Hiles would be a good stopgap, in my opinion. Let me just see if I can Google your podcast. I'm gonna give give a shout out to Spitfire Gaming. Go check out his podcast. He had the balls to ask me to do it in this. I want to say yes just because you asked like that, but I don't have time for you. That sounds so harsh. You know what? Send me an email. Oh man, my emails are so backed up. Send me. What's the best way to hold? Nah, send me an email, and if I get to that email, we'll talk about it. So I'm checking out your, buddy. This is not a. This is not a wargaming YouTube. You know what? I don't know who you are. Send me an email. I'll try to find your actual podcast. Rest of you go check out Spitfire Gaming, in his podcast. I don't know how to direct you there. He left no links. Nathan Jack, analysis and thoughts on videos of the Astartes animation. Oh man, I can't wait for all that Astartes stuff. Love to see 3,000 point battle report. Blah blah blah. Can't do battle reps. Talk about the impact of 3D printing on Warhammer models, old and new. Wow, okay, man, I could do a long video on that. I have my own resin 3D printer. My buddy, I don't know if I should say this, my buddy Mike, he just stopped buying Games Workshop models and he designs and prints his own stuff. Man, I threw you under the bus, buddy. Yeah, and they don't look bad. I don't think they're gonna take a chunk out of the market. Some people, I just rather buy my miniatures. 3D printing will have an impact on this genre, this hobby eventually. Just not today, not tomorrow. You could make a lore talk. Yeah. What do you mind? Sorry, I just kind of skimmed these and a lot of repeats. Good to see you again. How to build fancy lists. Well, we all have a different methodology of making our lists. But it's a 30-second video. Maybe I can make a 30-second video about that. Thank you for keeping fantasy alive. Short explanation of fantasy rules. I love watching the battle reports. They are so fun. However, I know little of the gameplay mechanics. My word. Sorry, I almost swore. I don't care. It's my channel. Fuck off. I don't know. I could never make that video. The Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition is one of the most convoluted. The FAQ for the rulebook is as thick as a phone book. If you're old enough to remember what a phone book is. Yeah, it's not a beginner's friendly game. And to this day, I have not been able to play a game without having to reference a rule because some weird situation has popped up that's never popped up before. And we have to reference 14 different pages of like a rule on 14 different pages, jumping back and forth throughout the rule book on the 300 pages of rule. Games Workshop wasn't known for their rules writing. It's not the most concise thing, and it's very. So no, making a video how to understand, man. Honestly, it could be fun trying to make that video. I'll pitch it to Mini Wargaming if they want to make that video, but that's too much work for me to do. I understand your plight though. It's not the easiest game. Pretty much anything fancy. Slow grow campaign can't do it. Want to see how your Kings of War Orc army is getting. Well, I guess you don't know. I've talked about this already. My Kings Mantic sent me a quite large Orc army that I was super excited to play with because Kings of War actually really enjoys the game. I think, yeah. The way Kings of War wrote their rule set, it was like the natural of like. It feels very much like Warhammer Fantasy, but I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Okay, so if you played Warhammer 40k 7th edition, and you played 8th edition, the difference between 7th edition to 8th edition would be like Warhammer Fantasy's 8th edition to Kings of War. I think it was their second or third. I can't remember what edition. It's like it's the same. You get the same rank and flank feel, but they took away all the convoluted stuff, all the stuff that didn't work, all the stuff that was overly complex and complicated. It was a nice streamlined rank and flank game. I actually really dig it. But so, I had a bunch of stuff going on at the time. I needed a bunch of things painted, so I contacted a studio to paint that Orc and Goblin army for me. They had it for a couple of months. They sent it back untouched, saying we can't get to this. Sorry, what's it called? Kings of War Orcs. So then I went to another person I knew and had them just like I'll just do it myself. But can you assemble them all, clip them, clean them, kind of like I want to make diorama type trays. I bought a bunch of all those trays, and I made I put the stumps on them, and I did all the work to make the dioramas look nice, and just get everything ready. And then once he got them all ready for me, I clipped them in proper places, and then I primed everything. And then because a big thing came up at work, I can't get to this one. Again, another painting part, like another commission studio. I contacted, sent it off to them, and they just stole it. I never got it back. Lost all communication. So a lot of work went into it. Everything was on the diorama trays. Everything was assembled. Everything was primed. Some of it had some base, like airbrush base coats, but I have the worst luck with commission studios. Like, make sure your studio is a well-established studio, or the person. Like, you can find local people so easy nowadays, and then there's a bunch of big studios that they're just reliable. Use them. It's worth the extra money. You don't get your stuff stolen. Well, let's see, more time. Thank you for the update. Painting hangouts would be cool. Let's see, step-by-step walkthrough how you build an Age of Sigmar army. Yeah, that's more of a mini wargaming thing. Like, it's more of a math thing. Like, I'll pitch it to Matt, because I know people keep asking for stuff like that. But those are things, like, whenever you see a Matt sit and talk come up, you should pitch that stuff to him. But if he's good at making those kind of videos too. Let's just see your opinion on Warhammer Fantasy project. Yep. Feelings on each army. More Warhammer 6th edition, please. Any plans for a dwarf game? I missed the wee stunties. Cullen bought himself a massive dwarf army. He wants another artillery dice army. He put it in his closet. He has no plans on painting it anytime soon, but he has one, and if you can convince him to paint it, he'll play. I'd love to see some RPG videos. Maybe play D&D or 40K. I will never be a DM, but I do play D&D once a week, sometimes more. Right now we have to do it through Discord, but yeah, we play. Well, actually, for this current lockdown that we're in, as of like yesterday or tonight or tomorrow, I can't remember. We're going to a more restrict stay-at-home order, which is actually it doesn't matter. So we thought it might impact us. It's not going to at work. So we discussed actually doing an RPG show through Mini Wargaming, because we've Matthew, Cullen, myself, his wife, and some other people play with us, but we've all done it for over a year now because of COVID. We've done it through Discord, so we're all now used to it, so we could probably do it for Mini Wargaming through Skype or through Discord. Keep it simple and streamlined, but no, we're not locked. We can still go to work, so it's not going to happen, unfortunately. Can you do a showcase or beginner's guide for Lumineth Realmlord's army? My goodness, that army is super, super frustrating to play with. The plumes, okay, models, beautiful. But the design is so poor for an army that has a rule that wants you to play them shoulder to shoulder. Their spears are too long, too fiddly. They get caught on the plume. It is so frustrating to play. It is a big letdown for me in that army. It's only a big letdown because I really like those spearmen, those pikemen, those shield wardens. Some D&D videos would be good. Have we checked out Divinity 2? Yeah, Colin and I played some Divinity 2 a while back. We kind of lost interest in it, though. Any chance you guys have any interest in hopping back into MESBG? MESBG. Oh, Middle Earth strategy battles game. Oh no. No, no plans, but it's always there. I I love that game. I feel that game is almost the perfect miniatures game if you took away the named characters. But like everybody loves the named characters. Luca really digs the game as well. We were actually talking about it yesterday. Yeah, we were in this. Yeah, there's no plans, but it's always gonna be around us. We're never gonna abandon it. But right now, scheduling what it is, we can't squeeze it in. It's they need to have a meet and greet with the fancy armies you have. Yeah, it's like an army showcase type thing. Here's somebody asking for more time. Haven't seen a Steve video in some time. Were you busy painting some white scars? Tomb Kings maybe? Seems like you splashed your chin with some white paint. Yeah. 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 The beard's getting white. I don't mind. When it gets I'll show you when it gets longer. How do you feel about the rumor malls are gonna be smaller in the old world when it comes out? Don't care. I don't know I don't believe it, and I don't care if it's true. I know lockdown can be frustrating. I live in the UK and lockdown feels like it's going on forever. Hope you guys have been working and doing. Yeah, everybody's doing pretty good. Everybody's doing pretty good. We're getting through this. Yeah, I try not to. I'm not going to speculate on the old world. I'm too excited for it to talk about it. Thank you, Steve. Never stop gaming. I love Warhammer Fantasy. I was devastated they got rid of it. Okay. Okay, sorry. I love Warhammer Fantasies and was devastated when they got rid of it. I abandoned the hobby for a few years and my minis collected dust. Happens to all of us. Or were converted into D&D. Yep. A few weeks back, a friend of mine saw your battle reports and asked if we could play fantasy. Nice. I can't tell you how much that meant to me and how much fun I had getting him into the game and watching all your vids. That's awesome, dude. I know it sounds sappy, but it's all true. Now there are 5 of us. I'm actually finishing another army. I'm almost through all your vault videos. Wow, that's a lot of videos. And hope that more come out soon. Yeah, we're still recording Warhammer Fantasy at Mini Wargaming, and that's literally because of the Kickstarter that this channel put up. Matthew makes a lot of decisions, and I've always supported his decision. When he cut fantasy, I think he was right to do so. Though in hindsight, maybe not. We needed to put the resources in a growing game, which was Age of Sigmar, but we have since learned that we could do both. That's why we do fantasy again at Mini Wargaming. People still sign up and pay for it. As long as people keep paying for it, we will keep making it at Mini Wargaming. And I'll do it forever here because I enjoy the game so much. I have a Finecast Lumion car unpainted I would like to send you if you want it. To help motivate some Bretonnian bat reps in the future. Okay, so I don't like things for free. Makes me uncomfortable. I will pay for it. Send me an email, steve@miniwargaming.com, and we will discuss this because I do want that miniature. Miso. Hey, Miso. Sorry, sometimes I recognize names from. Hey, let's talk about. Talk about what you're expecting and you want from the old world. I don't want to do that. I'm too excited. If you play Warhammer Total War, I am so bad at that game. Luca and Cullen are so good at that game. Would you like what you like about it and what you don't like about it compared to tabletop? I actually really like it. I'm just bad. If there are any ideas from where the world from there what you want in the tabletop game. So my thing is when I play tabletop games, I'm processing as my opponent takes his turn. And things don't change if I don't look at them. Whereas in Warhammer Total War, that unit of goblins that was just standing over there 10 seconds ago is now attacking my trebuchets. Like, they were over there when I was looking at them last. I'm probably the world's worst gamer. And know it. I'm okay with it. I still have fun. Probably a slightly weird one, but a discussion about Warhammer Fantasy's magic phase and how to improve it. Man, that could be a long discussion. Stay awesome, Steve. Steve versus Cullen, new models ideas from the Fantasy reboot. I don't know what you mean by that. Thoughts on the Warhammer Armies project? It's awesome and it's something I might consider taking on. Glad to hear you're still kicking. Best of luck and good nerves until this situation is over. I'd like to see some non-regular Warhammer Fantasy. I can't record anything. Yeah, I know. I want to see Triumph Treachery as well. I just can't record right now. Oh, Bat Rip. I can't record Bat Rips. Hey, dude, the internet misses you. Please upload more. I want to see you reacting to Warhammer memes. Man, I think I might be too old for memes. I don't know where they are. Where's this meme you talk about? Slow grow campaign, can't do, can't record. What about some more TW? What about some more TW? Oh, I don't know what TW is. Farnsworth, I would love to hear some tips, thoughts, explanations on just starting AOS. I'm interested in starting and getting started in the hobby. It's just so expensive and seems to change a lot. How would I get started? Is there a particular army to start with? Help getting started in the hobby would be beneficial for me. That's such a big question. Do you want to play? Do you want to paint? Do you want to play and paint? Do you want to play unpainted? And there's so much information there I need. But with, I guess the best way to start is go into a store. And this is the hardest part for a lot of people. I personally couldn't do this. Like, if you know anybody who already plays the game, you're head and shoulders above everybody else. Go into a store, talk to the owner, and be like, "Hey, I'm looking to get into this game. Can somebody show me how to play? Can somebody give me like a run through how to play the game, whatever?" And somebody, well, I'm telling you to do this in the middle of the pandemic, which you probably can't do where you live, unless you live somewhere cool like Florida. You probably can't do that. Basically, you gotta get somebody to show you how to play, and then get a feel of the playstyle you want to play, and then kind of buy an army that reflects that. Maybe you can't do any of that. Okay, how about this? Pick up a Warhammer Start Collecting whatever for Age of Sigmar. Pick up one of those boxes that looks cool to you, and then pick up a starting paint set and paint those miniatures. And when you're done, find somebody to play at a store. Hopefully the stores are open back by then, or they're already open in your area. And just walk in and say, "Hey guys, this is what I own. Who wants to play a small game with just this?" And somebody there will do it, and hopefully somebody's there to do it. And just play, and then add more. But basically, like most things in life, the best way to start is to just damn well do it. So don't spend a bunch of money. Go buy one Star Collecting box set. Go paint up that one Star Collecting box set and go play with just that Star Collecting box set. Because you may find you love the game but don't like the army. Because then you can sell that army or just shelve that army and keep it like, hey, that was my first Sigmar army. It's not really for me. I'm gonna keep it on the shelf now. And you go buy a different one and try that. And then if you like the next army, expand upon it. Bring it up to 2,000 points. There is no perfect way to do anything. And anybody there is telling you, you must buy this. Do not buy that. They're giving you bad advice. You got to find out what's fun for you. Have fun. Don't be a jerk. That's it. It's hard to be a jerk when you don't know how to play the game yet, so you can't be like the power gamer or the spammer or the things that people complain about. And if you accidentally do something like that, it's not your fault. You didn't know better. Foot reveal? What the hell? Jonathan Kelly just said foot reveal. No. Wait. I'm not limber enough, bro. How about some videos of Solar play on Cursed City? Can you play that solo? That would be awesome. Colin is currently painting that up right now, and then we'll probably do something with it once he gets it done. 9th edition Dark Eldar review. I would actually love to do that. Though Luke would probably. I would do that. You mentioned that you wouldn't do a Raven. You mentioned that you wouldn't do Raven Guard as a 30k faction if you had the choice. What would it be and why? I did do Raven Guard though. Oh, did I say I wouldn't have chose it? I don't know. Okay, so I'm not sure what you're saying, but back in the day when we all started Horus Heresy, Matt told everybody to go pick an army, and we're gonna purchase them up and paint them up and play some Horus Heresy. I wanted to do Dark Angels, obviously, but he recommended that I pick an army that already had rules in a big black book. So I went with Iron Warriors, but then we had a lot of people coming in with a traitor army, so I needed to get a loyalist to play as guests. So I needed a loyalist army to play, just so I wouldn't be traitor and traitor all the time. And again, I wanted to play Dark Angels, but the book still hadn't come out yet. So I chose Raven Guard as my loyalist faction because they're my next favorite of all the loyalists, right? So no, they weren't my first pick. But that is why I chose them. I actually really did enjoy them. But I no longer have that army. I did sell it. More Malal and Halflings from Wild Boy. I don't know what that means, but Halflings are cool. Brian Wilson says, rock, paper, scissors. I forgot about that channel. Okay, everybody, you want to know the greatest YouTube channel on YouTube? Daily Rock, Paper, Scissors. Though they haven't uploaded in over a year. What is the main rules now? I don't know what that means. What happened to your Kings of War coverage? You seemed excited about it and nothing came. Just wondering how you feel about Kings of War and if you ever play again. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, so Army got stolen. Really do like the game. And some of the, I was actually checking out the other day. Some of the new models are, I like that new giant. I do. Is it new? What's new to me? And I think the fact that the conventions kind of got close, because there's no Kings of War community in my area. I was kind of hoping to build one up. But my exposure to it's been at the convention every year at Adepticon in Chicago. And then the last two, we haven't had one. So that kind of stifled that a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I'm really, really disappointed with that army being gone, but I know you can play with fancy stuff. And again, like that Slaanesh army was going to be playable for Kings of War as well. And like I get to play some Kings of War once a year in Chicago. Todd, love to see some Baldur's Gate 3. An old world narrative game would be cool. Maybe some White Dwarf for sites that have some solo gameplay. My answer is the same as always. Game Let's Plays. Bring back the BDB. Oh. I think you mean the Big Dick Bandit. That is Luca's go-to player character name. Now, it's probably a good idea if you can. How long is this video? It is an hour long. Not. I intended to come on for 5 minutes. If you want to email Luca, because he's never fully answered the question, his username is always the big dick bandit. Is he a bandit with a large unit, or is he just a bandit that steals large units? If you want to answer the question, so if you can email him, Luca, Luka at manywargaming.com and ask him that would, because he won't give me an answer. Maybe some thoughts on the merits of Warhammer Fantasy, why it's cool and fun game. I don't know why, because it's awesome. Why the lore is cool, because it's an amalgamation of everything we've known, right? Reaction. So, in serious, what advantages and disadvantages does this game have compared to AOS and 40k, apart from nostalgia? You're asking for an essay, unfortunately. I hate to ask for comparisons, but I think it's unavoidable. I definitely want to hear some wise thoughts on that. That's a video unto itself, and I don't know if I ever want to make that video, but I'm telling you, it's something I've actually been thinking about a lot recently, about why I like or dislike something and how I feel about. I think fundamentally Sigmar, Age of Sigmar, and Warhammer Fantasy is very similar. You know, one day I'm gonna make this video to fully express my thoughts on why I kind of gravitate one and try to avoid. Well, it's complicated. It's complicated. Mike Egan, reactions to commentary rules / lore. That would be deemed a bit too adult for mini wargaming. I mean, unfortunately, I've been conditioned over the years. You saw me censor myself like 7 times in this video. I've been conditioned myself over the years to talk very family friendly. Not that I don't typically. Grim 5400, do a sit and paint, and maybe you and a guest. I know lockdown, but you and a friend just shooting the shit painting models. I mean, if somebody. Yeah, I could look into something like that. I just feel like I'll do a live show on Saturday where I'll just sit and paint and whatever, and nobody's gonna watch. Like 3 of you will show up, and you'll be super supportive, and I'll really love the 3 of you. But I don't think anybody wants to actually sit and watch me paint. And actually, when I paint, I actually watch a lot of YouTube. No, let me rephrase that. I listen to a lot of YouTube or old movies or television shows that I've seen 1,000 times. Because I don't want to have to. Sorry, my nose is burchy. I don't do. Yeah, so what's I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. Not sure how viable this is for content, but how about some videos on the Ninth Age, Warhammer Armies project, or another Ninth Edition? Yeah, so basically, you want army book reviews type things. Well, we asked you for Warhammer, not Mini Wargaming. Yeah, I know, but I'm unable. I don't own a studio, and Mini Wargaming is super. Like Matt and Dave are super generous, allowing me to use their studios at no charge and all their terrain. But the only stipulation is I have to follow, and reasonably so, is the current laws that they have to follow. So I can't be in there after hours. Now, that being said, they've worked out a really solid plan to help us out. Basically, it's probably better if I don't explain because I don't want to get. But either way, like if it wasn't for this particular lockdown that happened again, we would be recording Warhammer Fantasy. Right? Actually, we recorded one. We're not going to release it until we get a bunch recorded. So I don't want to interrupt the release schedule again. So not until we get a handful recorded and we know we're going to maintain it, will we put them out. But they have been super supportive for like they have no reason to be like other than the fact that we're friends. So they're cool guys. But yeah, no, I know. But you may have asked me, not Mini Wargaming, but let's also thank Mini Wargaming for throwing up some fantasy videos and allowing me to play and paying me to do so. Oh, we're almost at the end here. Thank God, no more Age of Swaymore. Grow up. Maybe some Triumph Treachery 1v1v1 games again. I cannot record. Looking at a Heresy list building or just more Heresy would be fun. And then somebody questioning the lockdown. I don't know. I don't make the rules. Okay. The interaction made me laugh, so I'll read it because whatever. Arctic Horde Wargaming says a lockdown again, based on what? Not being snarky, but the science doesn't show that lockdowns work and vaccines are being pumped out. What am I missing? That's what I call it, bro. And then Tyrannosaurus 69 says, I think you're missing that Steve isn't Doug Ford. And then Arctic Horde replies to him, who's Doug Ford? It made me laugh, and I get Doug Ford is the Premier of Ontario. He's the guy who makes the decision. That guy made a decision. Whether I agree with him or not, I can't go to the studio. And I can't leave the house unless for essential reasons. Not that anybody. Never mind. Anyways, so that's it. I read through all these comments. We're gonna get through this thing, and we're gonna get back in the studio and record again proper. I'm just grateful that I'm able to go to my job every day. I'm one of the lucky few who gets to keep working while this is happening, and just unfortunately is impacting my side hustle, my personal YouTube channel, which is cool because everything about my channel is riding the coattails of my day job, Mini Wargaming. I'm using, well, they use my models, but I use their studios, I use their terrain, I use their electricity. So unfortunately, I can't use it at the moment, and I don't have the space in my home to do so here. Because we actually did discuss that. That was actually a thing that we, like Colin and I discussed, maybe just converting my dining room into a makeshift studio in the interim. But then we were really close to getting back. So basically, we're not going to bother doing that. We're close. It's almost over. This can't go on forever. We'll get back to recording. Other than that, I'll post some more stuff. I plan on recording that High Elf Army book review. And if you guys actually want that, I'll do more. And then always keep posting your suggestions. Just don't suggest I create bat reps, because I can't. Thanks for watching, guys.